Why would you make this? Hello, everyone. Welcome and thank you for listening. This is Why Would You Make This? Season 3, The Asylum Years, the only podcast to expect the absolute worst based on the evidence already presented and is still shocked and confused enough to ask the question, why would you make this? I'm Jimmy Time. I'm joined by my co-host, Brother Skylar. How are you, sir?
Oh, do you really want to know?
No. I was just being fake polite.
I'm not doing well.
Yeah?
Yes. I feel like I'm going through my own labors of Jericho, actually.
Oh.
Each one worse than the previous.
From watching these.
Well, no, I've recently discovered in age what hemorrhoids are. That's not a fun task.
Oh, no.
As you can see, I'm still healing from poison ivy. I have my wounds all over me, my blisters.
Good Lord.
And then, I had to deal with watching Disco Inferno in this fucking pay-per-view. The worst of all.
Man, that feels like eating bad chicken, so.
Oh, yeah.
I know that.
For eternity.
For eternity! Oh, wish I had a number to describe that.
But enough about me.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about how we were also joined by J Delta Wagwan.
Wagwan. I was going to complain a little bit about my day, but in hindsight, I'm not covered in poison ivy scabs. So, we can just move past that.
That's rough. Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about Season 3. So during Season 3, we are taking you through the National Wrestling Alliance Total Nonstop Action Weekly pay-per-view shows, now known as TNA The Asylum Years. This episode is number 8, originally broadcasted on August 7th, 2002, live from Nashville, Tennessee at the Fairgrounds Coliseum, now known as the Indiana Farmers Coliseum, allegedly drawing 500 in live attendance at the time. I will no longer be trying to estimate the financial situation of TNA, as very recently on the podcast My World with Jeff Jarrett, hosted by Conrad Thompson, Jeff Jarrett was questioned about some of the numbers his father, Jerry Jarrett, gave in his published journals, which is where I was getting a lot of this information from. Jeff disagreed with a whole bunch of the numbers written in there. So until the official company numbers are made public, it is just a speculative guess that TNA is currently worth $2 million less than what investors initially thought the company would be worth by this time. But I kind of think it shows. One quick correction I want to make is that last episode, I said that this episode, we would be talking about Don Harris and his questionable past.
Yeah.
That is next episode. I made a mistake. You watched it. You didn't see anything really questionable about Don Harris, really.
No.
It is very clear when it happens, and it's next episode. Yeah.
So watch next week.
As per usual, episode 7 left us confused about the motives of the characters and the direction of the company. So let's try to explain what is going on with our crazy past.
Wait a minute. What happened that got you so crazy?
First in the unranked division, if you will, the original midget killer puppet, the Psycho Dwarf, wants to start the show with midget wrestling, but has since settled for making, quote, midgets bleed because they're stealing his screen time. However, sometimes he's too tired to care. Although, the last time we saw him, he cared about it a little too much and pulled a gun out in front of a live crowd. So, he might not be back ever. At all, ever.
Yeah.
They addressed that he's not here because they took him out and suspended him or something.
I mean,
they said it on commentary.
They just say he's not going to be here. Yeah.
They,
this is after 9/11, so.
What is that? He didn't pull a plane out. Like what?
Well, yeah, I don't know. Rules change. Like, people were a lot more casual about having guns pulled on them.
Oh, okay, I guess. Yeah, maybe. All right, next, Alicia keeps demanding money from men, but sometimes they're not upset about it. However, it has been a month since we last saw her, so it is possible she has collected all of her debts.
That's it. Yeah. I'm going to go home now.
Yeah, it's possible. Next, Taylor Vaughn is Miss TNA. However, after an impassioned speech about discrimination, Bruce from the Rainbow Express challenged for the crown of Miss TNA and has won the crown of Miss TNA.
From who?
Exactly. Next, Ed Ferrara keeps touching Francine's boobs, sometimes because she makes him. Regardless of that, Francine keeps beating him with her belt. However, after being attacked by the Blue Meanie, Ed showed genuine concern for a possibly paralyzed Francine, or maybe he was just trying to look down her bra.
More likely.
Yeah.
Yeah. That happened on the 5th show, and we have not heard anything about that since. Next, on the 3rd pay-per-view show, Buff Bagwell has gone home to rethink his career, and he has yet to return.
Yeah.
Next.
The Disco Inferno has promised to teach the NWA TNA with his new show, Jive Talkin', although I'm not really sure what he taught us with his last episode. I'm gonna go with nothing.
Yeah. That all he tried to do was bring out Goldie, right? Last episode?
Yeah, and get her to
Take
expose
over.
herself. Yeah.
Okay. Mm.
You know, they take off Mark Johnson, the referee, for this tour, but they add in him. I just can't win ever. I gotta deal with this. This is unfair.
Okay. And then finally, and technically still unranked division, is after failing to achieve athlete status and failing to remove the athlete status of NASCAR, K-Crush has changed his name to The Truth and claimed star status. Oh, and also has begun using his belt to hang people who disagree with his preachings of conspiracy. Oh, and then also he raps now.
That's the best part.
That is the best part.
There's a lot of attempted murder happening.
There is, don't alert the police. Because there's a lot of crime happening on this show. Next in the tag division, low-class redneck stereotypes, the Dupps have possibly alienated themselves from the company as they struggle to find willing opponents. That happened on the 2nd show. And they have been struggling to find opponents since.
Wow.
They have... Next, who beat Cowboy James Storm and Wildcat Chris Harris to a bloody pulp on the 3rd pay-per-view show? The answer is the Hot Shots, but we still don't know why. It's only been 2 shows, so I'll give them some slack.
But they had their blow-off match.
They did fight each other, yes.
Yeah.
But nothing was mentioned about,
No.
like, there was no reason behind it.
Yeah, no, we attacked you. We're gonna fight. Okay, we did. The end.
And then we beat you down afterwards with your guns.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So you didn't get your revenge.
Yeah.
And there's still nothing about it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, again, it's only been like 1 show, 2 shows, so. And then finally in the tag division, is AJ Styles a glory hog? Or is Jerry Lynn a disrespectful pervert? Or are they just 2 coworkers having a simple disagreement?
It's both.
Oh, it is?
It's
It's both?
both.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Because if this were real, not everything's black and white.
All right,
I
okay.
feel like that's a lot of this storytelling right now that's happening.
Yeah.
is that what you think this is?
Yeah, I'm not saying it's good.
I think it's kind of ironic that half the storylines in this company is that not everything is black and white, and the other half of the storylines in this company is everything is black or white.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, not racially.
So the X Division has one thing going on, and it is that the Flying Elvises are the X Division, even if they have to take it by force. Although maybe that just applies to Sonny Siaki. And then finally in the World Division, Brian Christopher has dropped his hip-hop gimmick and changed his name to be known as Brian Lawler, a name chosen to distinguish himself from his father, Jerry Lawler. Or maybe he hasn't. Or maybe he's insane. I really don't know what's going on with him.
Maybe he forgot his father's name.
Mm.
Or maybe he doesn't hear it. Maybe he's trying to pronounce it differently. He's Lawler, I'm Lawler.
Yo, I didn't think you could possibly say something that would make me think of him in a less credible light. But oh my god. Next, Monty Brown wants Ken Shamrock's NWA title, and Shamrock has responded by saying, "Make it official and you're on." But after 4 weeks, Monty Brown is now focused on K-Crush and Alex Skipper. So I don't know if this is really a world title thing anymore.
I don't think so.
He's got to deal with this now and get revenge,
Okay.
and then he can get back to what he was
All right,
doing.
that's true. Next, there's a lot of story development here, so hang on.
Oh boy.
Next, James Mitchell wants to control the NWA heavyweight title as per the request of his god, who may or may not be himself, which may actually be literal physical control of the belt rather than the legal title of champion, But despite any of that, blood is more important than control, as James Mitchell now carries the blood of the Aoudad contained inside the Ark of the New Church, which he uses to anoint or desecrate people as he sees fit. And while he has already desecrated both Sonny Siaki and Don Harris is the only one that seems to care about this. Everybody else seems to move on real quick. I don't care what you do.
Siaki's past it.
Interrupting matches, NWA doesn't care. Siaki gets blood thrown on him. He's like, I don't care, man. I'm not Elvis. I'm better than Elvis. I'm super Elvis, or whatever his gimmick is. Next, Scott Hall was put on and chair-shotted off of a stretcher by Brian Lawler, The Truth, and Jeff Jarrett. So Hall promised to take them all out one by one, but he was then chair-shotted off of a stretcher by Jeff Jarrett again. Since then, Hall implied that the two should have a stretcher match, which ended with Scott Hall being hit with a chair and then placed on a stretcher. So, I don't know who has faith in this guy, but I got none right now.
Exactly.
Finally! And quite honestly, most importantly in TNA, Jeff Jarrett will not be screwed over again like he already has been by Jackie Fargo, Toby Keith, Scott Hall, NWA President Jim Miller, NWA Vice President Bill Barons twice, James Mitchell and the New Church, the Tennessee Titans, and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Also, allegedly, he may have attempted to kill Jackie Fargo, Jim Miller, Todd Stone, Bill Barons twice, Scott Hall twice, and the entire NWA TNA security team multiple times. Conspiracy victim or egomaniacal terrorist, the choice is left up to the viewer.
He did save everybody from Puppet last week, though.
The thing is, he's a hero, but also, after he saved everybody, he kept killing everybody else that Puppet threatened to kill. So I don't know how to handle it. All right. Next is dark matches. We actually have dark matches this time.
Oh.
We have a dark NWA World Junior Heavyweight title match. Jimmy Rave beat Adam Jacobs to retain the title. And next we have Scoot Andrews.
Shut up. That's a typo.
No,
right?
it's not.
His name is Scoot?
Apparently. That's what I have down here.
I don't know about that one.
Scoot Andrews beat Quiet Storm.
No.
Yeah.
Quiet Storm did not lay down for someone named Scoot Andrews.
It was early in his career,
Oh, man.
Scoot, yeah. Not the only wrestler named Scoot either, I'm pretty sure.
Old Scoot Calhoun.
Scoot Steiner and Scoot Norton.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good old Scoot Washington.
Yep. All right, let's start the show. Why is that song always on a delay? You gotta get a better audio guy to hit the button quicker.
It's just built into the track.
Because you press play and it's in 3 seconds. That's the most TNA thing ever. All right, we got a cold open. Apollo the Dups and Goldilocks are waiting near Ricky the Dragon Steamboat's office. Midway through the promo, if you want to call it that, JB does a countdown, and Tenay starts to provide commentary over the countdown. It only goes on for 20 seconds, and then we cut to segment 1, where in the ring, Tenay continues his commentary over JB announcing the intro for the next match. We're a minute in, and I am full-blown dizzy.
Yep. I was like, yeah, this is TNA.
All right, so the Amazing Red and the SATs versus the Flying Elvises, although they just announced the SATs as one team.
Yeah, they announced them all as the Spanish announce team.
That's apparently not. That's never a thing.
Mhm.
They're just bad at announcing.
Yeah.
So the Flying Elvises take control with 2 of them each holding a member off of the other team in a corner, and the third member's fighting in the center. Typical three-way stip. They do some double team moves, and they build to a triple team sit-out power bomb. That's the first big one. Wow.
That was good.
Commentary, this is already up. Commentary mentions that Puppet won't be here tonight because he pulled out a gun last week. So he's gone.
Oh, that's all you got to do to get suspended. Finally.
Oh.
You hear that, Jared? As long as you don't pull a gun.
Oh. The match suddenly turns into a proper tag match, so Siaki tells the other guys to get away from the ring, and the Flying Elvises leave the apron and go to the commentary table. And of course, the SATs and Red begin to take control because it's 3-on-1.
Yeah.
So
But that's exactly what Sonny Siaki did in their tag match. So I don't understand what's happening.
like, yeah, is this the team plan or?
Is it just a group full of cocky assholes who don't like look out for one another?
I don't get it.
I really didn't get it either. At least not, as the match goes on, it kind of grew on me, the idea, but the execution, of course, because it's TNA.
All right.
You know.
The
Yeah.
idea of what? Who's the face and who's the heel? I don't get it.
Okay, all right. So Sonny Siaki is the heel, right? And he's
Well, that's
refusing to make the tag.
Yeah.
So his teammates are like, all right, fine. I guess we'll just go watch. And I really hated them coming back at the end. And then I was like, all right, maybe
'Cause
that
they're-
does
Yeah. they're
kind of
supposed to get
work. And then
popping,
Sonny
yeah.
Siaki sneaks in and, spoiler alert, steals the win. He gets the...
He doesn't though. He doesn't steal anything.
Well, he doesn't. But this is TNA, right? We have triple team moves for the first, 6 minutes of the match. Legal man doesn't matter. Tags don't matter.
Yeah, it's a real
It-
hard
it-
and fast with the rules there.
It's just so sloppy.
So Red hits a standing shooting star press back when it was still thought to be mathematically impossible for someone to do that. Jorge Estrada tries to sing a song, but he's still too blown up to do it.
Can't hear anything.
And then Ed points out it doesn't rhyme very well, so the whole thing's just trash. Like,
Yeah.
in the ring, they lock in the SAT stretch on Siaki. It's a combo surfboard stretch, dragon sleeper, and then Red hits a top rope double stomp for the triple team.
Crowd loves it.
That was my favorite part.
I like that the match has double team and triple teams.
Yeah.
Because that's a big, for me, that's a big part of tag team, is
Yeah.
you know how to work together to hurt your opponent. Siaki turns around with a pump handle dragon sleeper, and Yang jumps back on the apron for the tag, but Siaki rejects it. On the top rope, Red kicks Siaki, which allows the SATs to hit the Spanish Fly, followed by the Amazing Red's Infrared, but the Flying Elvis run in to break up the three.
Yeah.
And this is what you're talking about, where it's like, are they in the team or not in the team? Or they...
Yeah.
It seems like they want to be a team, and Siaki
They-
doesn't, and they're all reluctantly together anyway. And
In theory, yes. Like,
yeah.
based on like most of the stuff that's been presented, yeah, I would say that's a pretty safe assumption to make. But there's a lot of questions because the last match, like you said, Brother Skylar, it was Siaki sat out on
Yeah.
ringside commentary. This time they do it, but only reluctantly, only because Siaki was being a showboat. Okay, so they go and sit, but ultimately, like, no matter how much of a scumbag
Okay.
Siaki is, they can't just let him lose, and they slide in and make...
Yeah.
So, like, okay, that's, and then Siaki just sneaks in and steals it, but, like, how long does this storyline play out? Like, how long do we keep seeing Sonny Siaki... I'm the greatest, I'm the best, I'm Sonny Siaki, and here I am. Say my name, Sonny Siaki. Super Sonny Siaki.
We're not
Okay.
even like halfway through the match yet. Like,
Yo.
and the gimmick is already like over with us. It's like done. I know. There's a whole we get this 2 count exchange back and forth. Ed says that he's never seen anything like the Code Red before, which is technically true. He's never seen anything like the Code Red, but he has absolutely seen the
that
Code Red.
exact- yeah.
Because he was commentating for the one match
Yeah.
that Red had where he did. I'm glad nobody's paying attention to this company.
That Code Red falsy was fantastic, though, I thought.
Yeah, Amazing Red is amazing.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
absolutely fantastic. They do a move that I've never seen before and since in my entire life, which is Siaki reverses whatever the SATs were going to do on the top rope. So all 3 men are on the top rope.
Yeah.
They all jump off and they do this weird, like,
DDT.
Siaki does, like, it's like a pedigree style DDT where the guys jump backwards and still land on their
Yeah.
head. I was like, I can't believe they had the coordination to do that.
That was great too. I
Yeah.
love that spot.
I thought it was a good spot. It swerved me.
It was amazing, yeah. Estrada and Yang hit the Event Omega on Red and pose, so Siaki slides in and gets the 3, which he was the legal man anyway, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure. So it's not really like a steal.
Yeah. I mean, in spirit it is.
Yeah,
'cause,
in a way,
they did the
yeah.
work.
Yeah, and then post-match, Yang and Estrada are shocked, and Siaki just shrugs and leaves. And then Estrada does his Elvis shtick and encourages Yang to join in, but Yang is kind of upset, and he stares off camera, presumably at Siaki.
Yeah.
Match length, 11 minutes, 44 seconds. Post-match length, 40 seconds. Full segment length, 14 minutes and 17 seconds. My only thoughts here are that I'm glad that this was an X Division match with storylines in it, because usually there's nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad we had something in here.
I'm still not sure on how this is getting booked. I feel like Russo...
The company, you mean?
No. Well, no, just this Sonny's character. I feel like Russo is doing this weird booking thing where he wants Sonny Siaki to be too cool for them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's supposed to be like, yeah, the Flying Elvis is a dumb gimmick, and he wants the fans to notice that it's a dumb gimmick, and that's why they're overselling it, and think that he's too cool, and then he'll go over that way. Trying to do like a new age booking style, and from what he's thinking in that era. And I just don't think it's going to work. But that's what I think he's going for. I think he's supposed to come out on top and win. Or, I'm sorry, he's supposed to come out on top and get over this way.
Yeah, he's like a cocky the Fonz.
Yeah, he's going to be really cool in the end. He
But
gets rid of the dead
as
weight.
the heel, right? Like, they're building him up as a heel, Siaki.
No, not really. Like,
Yeah, I can't.
Like, he's
understand
just
it either.
genuinely so cool.
Yeah.
He's
yes,
Like we have to
self-aware,
agree
like The
with it.
Rock.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right.
yeah. Why even pull punches? He's clearly trying to be The Rock.
That's what I feel like. they're
Yeah,
going for.
why even pretend? He's clearly The Rock. All right, segment 2 is the welcome segment. TNA welcomes us to TNA alongside the opinionated Ed Ferrara and no longer the Zoot Suit Daddy, now the excitable Don West. 3 main events tonight, but sadly only one Troy McClure hour. Jeff Jarrett versus Apollo. Low Key, Jerry Lynn, and AJ Styles for the X title. Ed hypes that one. Ken Shamrock versus Ron the Truth Killings for the NWA title. Don hypes that one. And then TNA throws to himself in an interview with Apollo.
All right.
The interview starts, and Apollo says, "Get to the point already!" He worked hard to be the number 1 contender, and Ricky gave the Truth his title shot. Ricky Steamboat is corrupt.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight, Ricky will look in Apollo's eyes and tell him why he did that without telling Apollo, because respect is all about, and tonight, Steamboat gonna step face to face to Apollo tonight. Here.
Tonight. Here. Tonight.
Post-segment, women dance in cages as TNA flushes this turd of a promo by saying, "That is one upset individual." Essentially the new age, strong words from a strong man.
Yeah.
Interview length 1 minute and 47 seconds. Full segment length 4 minutes. My only thoughts are, I'm so sorry, Delta. Yo, I couldn't understand anything Apollo was saying. He's not a good wrestler in the ring. The whole character's a wash. You were right. We got no reason to bring this guy here. He's trash. And I feel bad. I feel bad because he moved to this country for this company.
Yeah.
And we can't do anything with him.
We
I can't understand him.
Send him back. I'm sorry.
I can understand.
I don't mean it like that. Like, dude, you need a few more years before you're ready for TV.
Yo.
Darn.
Well, that's part of the problem, Brother Scholar, is yes, I could understand him, but it wasn't making sense what I understood.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It's gibberish.
Like, I really didn't mind, like, like, angry, like, obviously the guy is from Puerto Rico, so he has a thing. Like, none of that bothered me.
No,
It's
but-
just what he was saying.
It's just chopped up nonsense.
It wasn't like, oh, this guy just has, like, these are just, like, translation issues, or he's still learning the language. It's just like, no, he's cutting a fucking gibberish promo. He's just doing it.
He's doing the best he can, and he doesn't know the words.
Yeah,
so he's just like,
He doesn't know what to say, but he knows this promo has to go on for however long it's got to go on.
you know,
Tonight, here.
It'd be like me going, me, you, Espera, luchadora, espera. Like, you're like, that's all I know, dude. I'm trying. So, segment 3, commentary throws to Goldie right now. It's
Yeah.
really important that they go there. And then we see AJ, like very casually, no reason to rush at all,
Yeah.
walking out of Steamboat's office.
Almost a Vince McMahon walk, a strut out of the office.
Like the deal he made was that Steamboat blow him right then. And he was like, oh yeah, like he had a lot of confidence.
Guess who just got his dick sucked by the new
The
boss?
boss. Yo, a near irate Apollo tells Steamboat he needs to talk now. And Steamboat's like, look, I'm busy. We'll talk when I'm ready to talk. And Steamboat leaves the backstage area. And the Dups, who are also waiting outside the office, follow him into the next room, out of a door. From that same door, Jerry Lynn blasts through it and tackles AJ Styles into tables. I love it because we get another Goldilocks scream.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love it. She does her shocked but disappointed scream where she goes, "Holy shit, Jerry!"
Jerry, that's what she said?
She goes, but she follows it up with her disappointment. Goes, "Holy shit, Jerry!" Jesus.
I didn't hear that.
So Jerry Lynn throws AJ over tables and into chairs until AJ gets the upper hand. Commentary mentions we've never seen so much hatred between two people, except for 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And 4 weeks ago. And like, eventually Bullet Bob Armstrong and security break them apart. Segment length, 1:30. Yo, my thoughts are what pure transitional chaos this was.
Yeah.
What? I love it every time.
Oh my
Dude,
God.
come on.
What?
You had whatever AJ was doing. That's
Yeah.
one storyline.
Yep.
Then you had the Dups. Like, that's a storyline you have to follow now that that's happening.
Yep.
Apollo very clearly being ignored by management. That's
Yep.
another storyline. And then the AJ Jerry Lynn feud that's
Why
happening.
are
Oh.
AJ and Jerry Lynn fighting right now?
They've always been fighting. What do you mean, why?
The dawn of time. It's the AJ and Jerry Lynn.
Like, they just ran into each other in the hall where like, gotta fight now. Who started the fight?
Well, who knows? That's a question that could be answered later. It draws me in. It's
This is
intriguing.
the stupidest shit I've ever seen in my life.
I'm eating it up, and I'm having seconds with Delta's helping.
Yo.
Looking over to his
He doesn't want to eat it.
Look at his plate going, you going to finish that?
He's eating it out of the potted plant I just scraped it into. I snuck away from the table with my plate and I dumped it all into the potted plant. Skylar saw me and just went in there and ate it right out of the dirt and all. He just, no worries.
Do you guys try this yet?
It's even better gorilla style. Upon a plant. All right, segment 4, enter Ricky Steamboat, and the Dups are still chasing him from the last segment. Steamboat says, I'm too busy. Just go do whatever you want. It's okay by me. Do it.
Do you feel like that could have been mic'd?
I think it kind of was-ish, but
I
not
feel like
enough.
it should have been.
It probably should have been mic'd a little
Yeah.
bit, so more people, yeah. All right, NWA heavyweight title match. Mr. Fight Ken Shamrock versus The Truth, Ron Killings.
Yo, Mr. Fight is fucking jacked.
Trash.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
that's it. But he is jacked. He
He
looks
is-
scary.
He is
Yeah.
jack trash. You know when somebody steals your TV? That's what Ken Shamrock looks like.
The name's Trash. Jack Trash.
He's the best secret agent I've ever seen. Really? I think he's the worst. Didn't you see the way he came down those stairs? Yeah, but he fell right onto the bad guy. And he caught him. I wouldn't call that caught.
Yeah.
I would say he landed on him and then the police nearby saw the commotion and arrested him. All right, so the match starts with Steamboat on commentary, and it's super back and forth with the crowd clearly behind
Yeah,
the truth.
1,000%.
But yeah.
They turned on Ken Shamrock. Like, on the third, what was it, the third episode?
Yeah.
The second he fell for those what chants and got angry by them, they were like, no, fuck this guy. Fuck him. Steamboat explains his decision on giving the Truth a title shot, basically admitting he was emotionally manipulated.
Yeah.
The quote I have here is like, oh, he captured the moment. I was like, yo, that's basically admitting you got swept up.
Hook, line, and sinker.
In control, the Truth shouts to the crowd, I'm the hottest thing since bread. Not sliced bread, not loafed bread.
Oh,
Just
wow, that's
bread.
yeah.
Just
regular bread. Yo.
The Truth goes for the 10 punch, but Shamrock power bombs him out of it for a double down. Mr. Fight goes into fight mode.
Screams.
Get out of my way!
I was expecting something great, and he delivered.
Yes, he gives Truth the slowest Hurricane Rana I've ever seen in my
Yo.
life.
He gave Truth the nastiest Hurricane Rana driver I have ever seen. He drove his head into the ground out of nowhere.
Yo, way to go, Excalibur. What a way to call that move. Yeah. It took full 4 seconds. A full 4 seconds for him to do this move.
Yeah.
I was like, reversal? Oh, no.
And then here comes the main event chaos. We got the new church without Tempest on the entrance ramp. Don Harris shows up and sits in a chair at the bottom of the entrance ramp. And then Monty Brown shows up on the other entrance ramp. And then Apollo runs down and starts attacking the Truth. Everyone else runs down and there's a whole big
DQ.
commotion.
Ding, 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 ding. Right?
No. There's just a
Oh.
big commotion. And then Apollo super kicks Shamrock.
Right in front of the ref as well.
Right in front of the ref, nobody cares. And then for some reason,
does
Steamboat
he?
rolls Shamrock into the ring, right? Just-
Everyone, yeah.
there you
Yeah.
go. And then the Truth hits a cutter, for the first time in his life, it looked like.
Truth and consequences. Boom. You're not familiar with that?
No.
No.
Yeah,
Not,
me either.
not yet, at all. And then he gets the 3. Boom. New heavyweight champion, Ron the Truth Killings. Yo, match length, 9 minutes, 20 seconds. Full segment length, 13 minutes and 43 seconds. Your thoughts?
I love that Shamrock's not champ.
I do.
That's a good
That's
thing
great.
to take away.
I love that the belt's on Truth. That's great. I like Truth being champ.
Everything
But-
else is...
Yo, what a why have everybody comes out and watches as though it's this monumental moment,
Right.
Like this is what people do when we're about to the face is gonna finally beat the heel, and then when he wins, we all lift him on our shoulders and celebrate. Like that's when everybody comes out to
Right,
watch.
yeah.
But no, we just have people come out to watch to then just brawl. And then Apollo Phantom super kicks Shamrock for a dirty finish.
Whoops. Yeah, I don't understand why there wasn't any build to this. There wasn't any build to the title match. There wasn't any build to Ron Killings becoming the champion. What was it? He just did his Herbie Sadler thing, and then he was choking people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now
It
all of
was
a
like a
sudden,
week, yeah.
title match, and he's a champ.
Yeah.
It's not like Jeff Jarrett build where he's like, I'm going to have my title match, I'm going to have my title match. He barely even talked about a title match ever.
No.
I didn't understand that. Another thing I have a problem with. Don Harris showed up.
Yeah.
We've already had security once and he wasn't there. So what is he doing? Why doesn't he have other security with him? Why is it just himself now? I don't understand his methods for security. Second of all,
Yeah.
he was down there, he put a chair down, faced the 2 guys, and looked at him.
Mhm.
When Apollo was coming down, he was standing up looking at the match. And it just
Come
ran
on.
right past him. So I was like, why did you even...
Jeez, Don.
The worst security. Why did they
Head
hire
of
him?
Security, yo. He is like the wharf of security, dude. Just gets smacked around.
Yo, I'm gonna watch these 2 guys on this entrance ramp. What is this noise? Oh, there's a wrestling match right behind me. Yo. Okay, I'll check this out. What?
I didn't know this would be going on here.
Oh, man.
And then the no DQ. I don't understand this. They didn't mention anything about it being no disqualification,
Yeah.
or the ref was clearly in view of everything. So I didn't understand that.
Yeah, there's no ref bump. There, the ref sees
He was
it,
standing there staring.
clear. It's just so this whole match to me is oh, we're done with Shamrock, as in he's never welcome in this building again. We have to get this belt off him tonight, and the only person we feel comfortable doing that with is Truth, I guess.
Yeah.
Or it's just well, this is the match we announced, so I guess Truth is winning it.
And Shamrock didn't even want to be there all night. It was what, the second, third match?
Yeah. Second
and then
match?
so
Yeah.
he can leave.
Yeah.
Segment 4. Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
like, yeah, we're having it early because, sometimes these title matches go 60 minutes and we, TV time. And the match went, what, 9 minutes?
Yeah.
It
Yeah. They
didn't even break 10 minutes.
Which that's another thing. They were patting themselves on the back, like this. If this goes 60 minutes, we want to give it the full 60. It's like you
Yeah.
promised us 2 other matches. Like you're really screwing up the rest of your card.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my only thought here is, first ever Black NWA Heavyweight Champion.
Good for him. He deserves it.
Yeah.
Sort of.
I just, what do you mean, sort of?
oh! You
He's
don't.
not black?
You don't know the full history of the NWA Heavyweight Title and the
No.
sordid
Oh, boy.
times where they were like, well, that guy's champion, but you know what? Also, that guy's champion because we don't like
Oh.
that other guy. So like,
Oh.
yeah. So like, I gotta have a thing here. November 21, 1961, Killer Kowalski defeats champion Buddy Rogers for the NWA Heavyweight Title. However, Buddy Rogers breaks his ankle in the first fall. And as a result, Killer Kowalski was only recognized as a champion in some states like Texas.
Wait, so Killer Kowalski's black?
No,
Oh.
I'm setting up an established history where the title splits hands,
Oh.
right? So
Oh, okay.
so now Killer Kowalski is the champion in some states, and then also Buddy Rogers is the champion in other states. So Buddy Rogers keeps going on to defend his title, right? And then you have, again, this is more weird history here. I'm not to the black guy yet. More weird history. August 2nd, 62, Bruno Sammartino beats Buddy Rogers, but Bruno refuses to accept the title because Buddy Rogers was wrestling with an injury. So it's like, it's not a noble win. I don't want the title.
Okay.
So the NWA is like, all right, weird compromise here. Bruno, you were the champion for less than a day. But also, Buddy Rogers, your championship reign did not have a break in it.
Oh.
Right?
So they were both simultaneously champions.
Like, so this is what we have on paper, and there's a lot of notes in history where it's like, ultimately they didn't recognize it. So there's so many things
Yeah.
where I can't even begin to tell you that people must have just walked away from the company and they're like, we don't recognize them in the history books anymore. And then here's the big thing, which is, again, this is during the whole, is Buddy Rogers even really the champion or not? August 18th, 62, Bobo Brazil, black guy, beats Buddy Rogers. However, Buddy Rogers has a groin injury, so he's like, I don't want the title
One of
then.
those again.
But then the doctors are like, you know what? We looked into it. Buddy Rogers lied. He didn't have a groin injury.
Oh.
Bobo Brazil is the champion. And then the NWA was like, you know what? We'll have a rematch. And then Buddy Rogers wins. And they're like, we won't even count that as a loss.
Oh.
He wasn't even the champion, Bobo Brazil.
Okay, so R-Truth, the first ever.
The first ever,
First
yeah. And then just a little bit more I want to point out here. January 63, Luthez beats Buddy Rogers, but Northeast promoters are like, nah, we don't like that. Nah. Take their ball, go home, start the WWF.
Yeah, that happens.
That's how it is. So that's what I'm like. That's the history of wrestling right there. There's a lot of like,
That's
this guy's
how-
the champ. This guy's the. It's
That's how Lesnar became the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion.
took his ball, went home.
Well, no, Inoki left New Japan, and that was his belt, the IWGP belt. So he left and started his own company, and he made someone else champion, and that person lost it to Lesnar, and then Lesnar lost that to Angle, and then Angle lost that to someone, and then the company went down, and it went back to New Japan
Yeah, man.
because Inoki's, I don't know.
There's a lot of like weird things. And then I was also looking through the storylines where it's like, because, Buddy Rogers, the title, and then he lost to Bobo Brazil, and then he won it again and all that stuff. Apparently in the storylines, Killer Kowalski was like, no. If the NWA says he didn't lose the title, then he's not a 3-time champion. He's still a 1-time champion. And that was a big like, no. Like,
Ooh, got him.
I was just like, yo, this wrestling's insane.
Yo,
What
wrestling
a-
is
what a
the dumbest.
ridiculous series of events. So yeah, he's the first ever NWA Heavyweight Champion, but he's also the second ever black challenger to beat the champion while the title is on the line. Like that we're aware of. That may have happened other times in other states where they were like,
Undocumented.
just don't even talk about it.
Yeah.
We're not even going to acknowledge that the match happened, let alone that you won. No, it didn't. Like,
Who knows? Maybe Abraham Lincoln did that.
I mean, think about how many times you've probably seen an India show where like some guy walks in with a belt and he loses it that night and wins it again at the end of the
Yeah.
night, and it's like, it wasn't that company's belt
Yeah.
to be putting on the line anyway, so of course, you know. All right, segment 5. Ricky Steamboat comes back out, and says, "Now's the time to talk, Apollo." Apollo enters, and Steamboat says he's going to give Apollo a title shot because he earned it. Enter Jeff Jarrett without music, and Jeff Jarrett says it's all clear to him now. This is reverse
Ooh.
discrimination
Everybody's pulling the race card. Now Jeff Jarrett is.
because he's not a minority. He gets overlooked because he's not black or Puerto Rican or Hawaiian. He doesn't get a title shot. Steamboat says the bullshit stops tonight. Apollo, if you win your match, you get a title shot with the truth. If Jeff Jarrett wins,
Shifty-eyed.
you get the truth.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah.
The truth.
And then Steamboat's gonna be the referee, so there's no false winner. That's a funny way to phrase it.
Yeah.
Segment length 5 minutes and 20 seconds. My only thoughts are I cannot believe that on the last episode, we casually thought up the most insane idea about what the events of this storyline was going to be, which was reverse racism, and they did it.
Yep.
We were joking casually, and that was their plan from the start.
Oh man.
We were shitting on commentary for being like, oh, look, they're stealing all their lines and stuff like that. Yo, 100%, I don't think they know anything, and the storylines are this obvious. That's what I think. I think they're making the obvious jokes, and it is what the storyline is. Yeah,
That's it.
it's not their fault that they're smarter than the show they're on. Like, ugh. You guys have any other thoughts about this? Or
I mean, other than I don't understand Jeff Jarrett's argument anymore of why he deserves a title match.
well, it has gone a little perverse, but his argument is that he was screwed out of his shot at a title match from day one
Because he deserved it
because he was in a battle royal,
and he lost.
because an outside interference came in and tossed him out.
Oh, okay.
That man might not. We're not even sure if Toby Keith was part of the match. Was he number 20 or was he not?
Oh, yeah, that's a
I don't know. And then the next week it happened again. No NWA security comes out. No management says, listen, Scott Hall, what you're doing is not okay. You're having outside guys come in and beat up a wrestler. No, none of that's happening. So Jeff Jarrett has a legitimate gripe.
He's not even booked. He's never booked.
Who?
He never has a
Jeff
match.
Jarrett?
Yeah.
Jarrett.
Yeah.
He's just there.
Yeah.
He's always suspended or
he never has a match and somehow he's still overbooked.
yeah.
And always in ring gear.
Yeah.
One of these segments, I think it was this segment, he comes out with like his reading glasses like still on, and I was like, he definitely was like reading the card backstage and forgot. Like there's no way he meant to come out as like reading Jeff Jarrett, like business Jeff Jarrett.
Sophisticated Jarrett.
My guitar has a tie on.
Ooh.
Why didn't he ever do that? Hang on.
That's
Copyright.
Jeffrey Jarrett.
Jeffrey the guitar.
All right. Hold on to your lunch, Brother Skylar. Segment 6, Jive Talking with Disco Inferno. The Jive Talking set is missing set pieces, and Disco does not know why. Out come the Dups, and they're going to do the Dup Cup.
Dude.
Grandpa Dup, Pop Dup, and Round Dup are all Dups that have drank out of or evacuated into this family cup that they're putting on the line. So now with Ricky Steamboat's blessing, they're going to make the Dup Cup the hardcore division in TNA, and here are the rules as listed from a chalkboard.
Oof.
Yo, I swear, if you read this rule list,
Do you want me to, or should I skip it? Because it's
yo.
long.
yeah, it the fact that they read through all of them on the pay-per-view, I was like, oh, this is way past.
Well,
No,
we're early.
that's not the worst part. The worst part is that Disco Inferno repeated every single line that was said in the promo.
This is the thing I was going to talk about, which is if I'm going to list them, we can't comment on them because then we're going to go longer than they went, which is way too long.
yeah.
I don't think any of these need to be said other than one of them is introduced Jai, and you're like, I don't know what that is. I don't know if he's reading it wrong. I've got no clue what a Jai is.
Yeah, and they're like, don't worry about it. You'll find out later.
Exactly. That's the most important part of the rules. Don't worry about it. You'll find out later. And then the last rule, which is a full-on like giveaway for the end, the design of this match, which is if you put your opponent's head in a cotton candy machine and do a full rotation, it's 10 points to win the match. So there obviously has to be at some point in history someone who has 0 points and still wins the match by doing that. That's the whole point of this match.
Well, duh.
Like, there's no, you give it all away right there. That's the whole point of it. So now we're just waiting for someone's head to go in the cotton candy. That's it. Just sit here and wait, guys.
Oh, well, what's the other prize for the Dub Cup Invitational?
I was like 63 cents.
Well, that was, yeah, the thing is then they go into it, they say, who's your opponent? And they say, well, here's the thing. Look at my shirt. I got a Goldilocks picture, like, stapled to my shirt.
Yeah.
And you made fun of Goldilocks, and she's my girlfriend, or at least that's what I think. So I challenge you, and then, you being Disco Inferno. And then Paulina comes out, stands in front of the two of them. So it's like, well, I guess...
No reaction.
I guess, yeah, we can't do that match now. So what do you have to incentivize new opponents? 64 cents doesn't work. A night with fluff. Immediately, Ed Ferrara. Hey, whoa, what was that? Hang on, what are you saying?
You hear him drop his headset. They're like, Ed, where are you going?
Yeah, he gets in the ring and he's like, double checking night with fluff. They say, yeah. They say, okay, cool.
I fucking hate.
Start the match immediately. I punch JB. That's 2.5 points. I grab Don's ass. That's 2.5 points because that's one. It's part of the rules. Don't even ask. Just accept that those are part of the rules. I'm not even gonna explain them to you. Don has 6 points. For some reason, JB jumps on Ed's back and then Ed dumps him into the crowd, and then that never gets talked about ever again. We can move on from that.
Well, he punched him, so he was getting revenge.
Yeah, but that was the revenge. That failed revenge. Stan and Bo each hit Ed with a chair, and they count that as 1 point, or excuse me, as 2 points. So I guess it's grab an item, hit him once, and that's 1 point. Again, none of the math matters. None of the rules fucking matter. It doesn't matter. There's a boot, there's a drink, there's a cane. Ed's still in the lead. Stan gets Jai. It's a blow-up doll. It goes crotch first into Ed's face. Dups are in the lead. Bo goes to beat up Sarah, the old ticket lady in the booth, and she beats him up with a broom all the way back to the ring.
I like that one.
That was the only part.
Yeah,
where
that
I
was
like,
the...
That was it. That was the peak of that match. An old lady with a broom. They, actually, I like this a little more because it was so bad. It was genuinely funny to me, which is Stan knocks down one of the jive talking lamps and then Disco complains. So Paulina low blows him, Stan being, which allows Paulina to then repeatedly slam the chalkboard into Stan's head.
Yeah.
I was
No
like,
reaction every time.
Nobody reacted. And I just liked it because it was like the perfect amount of cartoonish.
Yeah.
But again, no reaction.
And every time I got no reaction, Disco was like, here, do it again.
Do it again. Maybe
Do
they
it
just
again.
didn't see it.
Yes. So Ed grabs a chair and hits him a bunch of times, and they count it wrong. It's like 8 or 9, or again, math doesn't matter. Who cares?
Yeah, they're not actually tracking these points, or
they're like
They are tracking the points though. They have Don West and who's the other one? Disco. Like
yeah, but they're off with the like.
Yeah, they're
because
definitely
somebody
off
will grab
with
an
the
item
numbers.
from the crowd and they'll hit it with him like 2 times and they'll be like, "That's a point." And then later on, they grab an item from the crowd and they hit him with him 3 times and they're like, "That's 2 points." And you're like, "I don't know what the scoring."
Yeah,
system
there's no
is.
consistency to the
I
scoring.
have no clue.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all over the place.
Ed Spanks,
And at one point, they're straight up just like, I think it's this to that. Like, they're not.
It's a guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's bad. So Ed spanks Bo with horsey poo, which is just a horse head on a stick, a la Chava Guerrero's Pepe, if you remember that from WCW.
that's 2.5 points.
That's 2.5 points, except it's actually -2 if he likes it, and he does. So now it's like 5.5 to 6.5. Again, the math doesn't matter. Ed brings a table in the ring. Bo chokeslams him through it. That's enough points to be 10. The Dups win, although nobody realizes that until Disco Inferno announces it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's a table spot, so they were happy about that.
Yeah. Post-match, Bo's ass is hanging out, but luckily for us, it's blurred. Haha.
Oh, I had to see that.
Yeah.
Mm.
He shaved his ass for this, though. I did look it up later. I was like, I wonder if they blur it. I was like, oh, no. There it is. Promo length, 10 minutes and 35 seconds. Match length,
Dude.
5 minutes and 50 seconds. Yo, full segment length, 17 minutes and 8 seconds.
Really?
Yo, it was so
I
long.
felt that long.
Do you guys have any extra thoughts about this? Because I'd like to move on.
Get rid of them.
It really, like, so everybody involved in this match, Ed Ferrara, the Dups, and Disco Inferno, and Paulina,
Yeah.
all, like, everybody who's in this strikes me as someone who's like, oh, well, we owe them a favor. Oh, like, we gotta, like, we're friends with his uncle. Like, we got to give him a spot to, like,
Yeah, maybe.
dude, I want everybody involved in this match out of the company. Like, God.
I mean, well, the only good news I can tell you out of this is that this is, in fact, the last time we see Ed Ferrara wrestle. Just wrestle. Yeah.
Just
Ed
Wrestle.
Ferrara had the best shirt that he was ever wearing so far.
Which one was that?
He was wearing like a Wolverine, like same style printed shirt. You didn't see it?
I don't know. I guess I totally missed out on it.
It looked great.
Ah. What the hell was Ed wearing? I mean, what the hell is Don wearing?
Oh, he was just wearing like a full blue, like gospel preacher shirt. Like he looked like he was ready to like sing gospels and like lead a prayer. Yeah, he was all silky smooth. You could barely sometimes see the tie because it was like the exact same material and color.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Oh, that totally escaped me this time. All right, segment 7. I practiced this and I still can't get through without laughing. Segment 7, Tenay interviews Monty Brown outside on a bench.
It looked like a nice time.
Monty Brown cuts a bland, low-toned promo about his life, his career, making the most of your opportunities, and getting past politics.
He's like the biggest, like outspoken, charismatic character, animated guy, and that was like, this is the boringest.
Yeah, I know.
This is horrible.
Tenay talks about the truth, and Brown mocks Ronnie, saying his mind isn't right. Elix Skipper attacks Monty Brown from behind with a bucket of paint and says, "You don't know what we've been through," and screams about the streets and not in his house.
Yeah, he paintbrushed him.
when is this?
Who do you like? When in
This was
time?
before
or-
the
Yes.
show.
Before the show,
Yeah, because the sun's
Right?
out.
I guess the sun is out. So,
right?
or is it live?
Yeah.
Or
I mean, it must be before, because today is doing the interview, right? And he was just at
And he
ringside.
wasn't wearing his tux.
oh, I didn't even notice that. That's
He was
true.
wearing a polo shirt.
Oh, it must have been
I'm
over his
remembering
tux.
this now.
But yo, why attack Monty Brown earlier if he just showed up during the main event? It was just like, hey, I'm here standing at ringside, not
Oh, that's
doing
right.
anything.
Yeah, and he wasn't covered in paint.
He wasn't
or
covered in
anything like
paint.
that.
He didn't have his shirt on because that was covered in paint.
See, this is what I'm talking about. There's too much stuff going on in one segment for me to follow it. I can't remember enough to follow the continuity of other segments. I don't know what's
But
happening.
like Elix Skipper is not otherwise involved with this show except for this segment. So like, why was Monty Brown? Why did Monty Brown show up during the main event? If he got, they just showed me a video excusing Monty Brown's absence tonight. Oh, I see. He got attacked by paint. I understand why he's not here tonight. That makes perfect sense. Oh wait, he was here. He was here earlier, not covered in paint. Yo.
All right.
That was to explain why he didn't have a shirt on.
This was to explain why his shirt didn't match his
Yeah.
pants. Earlier he matched, but then he got paint on his shirt. So luckily he had an extra shirt. He didn't need it. Like the plan was, Elix Skipper gets paint on his shirt. He has to go home and change and can't be here for the show.
Nope, shirtless.
You can't trick Monty Brown. Monty Brown packed 2 shirts.
All right, interview length 3 minutes and 5 seconds. Attack length 51 seconds. Full segment length 3 minutes 57 seconds to 4 minutes. Yeah, I think that says it all. Let's move on, please. Segment 8, Malice versus Don Harris in a first blood match. Yo, most of this match happens in the crowd and the cameras can't really see it.
Yo, Malice, I'm just going to say this. He does not look good.
Like,
Oh.
health-wise, right?
Yeah, he came out, I was like, he looks like sick or drunk or he like came into the ring and could barely like kind of get up.
Surprised you could eat. Like I said, you can't see half of it. So Tenay asks what the symbolic part of covering their opponent in blood is, and James Mitchell, who was on commentary for this match, or some of it anyway, says that it's them marking their territory. The quote here, I think he gets it backwards. This is the quote. He says, "Why does a bear pee on a tree? Why does a deer paw the ground?" Like, I think he got that backwards, dude. So Malice is tossed off of the entrance ramp at one point, and Slash joins in the match. Slash pulls out a spike, like an ice pick spike, and Don Harris gets it away before Slash can use it, and then makes Slash bleed. But he's not part of the match, so it doesn't matter. And then Malice joins back in the match.
I gotta stop you because this spot was so bad.
Yeah.
Right. First of all, at this point, we're like 6 minutes into the match, the first blood match, and like now you're gonna cheat. Like, just try to cheat right from the beginning.
Oh, yeah, what do you...
Anyway, he goes for the ice pick. Right. Don Harris blocks and hits him, and then fucking Slash takes the ice pick and then just sells for a second before getting hit a second time.
Yeah.
Okay, you just killed the spot.
Right.
Right? Because now I punched you once with the ice pick and clearly nothing happened.
Then you punch him.
Then you punch him again so you can go down and blade over.
Yeah, and then he punches him off of the entrance ramp, so it's like, oh, was the fall the thing?
Yeah.
He disarmed him way too smoothly. He definitely did that before in real life scenario.
That is the head of security, my friend.
That's true. Maybe I shouldn't point out that I noticed that Don Harris is wearing a shirt for his local Harley Davidson dealer. Do you know what the name of that motorcycle dealer is?
Oh my god.
Please share it.
Dick Farmer.
Come on.
Harvest those chodes.
Oh!
At ringside, Slash holds Don Harris while Mitchell approaches with the Ark of the Undead. And I'm gonna blood you. But Don breaks free and kicks the Ark into the air, splashing blood, kind of, sort of, onto James Mitchell.
No! It flew into the air backwards, nowhere near him. It went all over the floor.
It got on him, though.
And no, the camera cuts and you see him rubbing his face on the mat, trying to get it on him. And I'm like, what is happening?
I missed it.
Yeah.
That's horrible. Oh, I feel so bad now.
Clearly missed him. Got the
Yo.
front row though. I saw kids trying to wipe blood
Yeah,
off
I remember
each
hearing
other.
them being like, oh!
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you were wondering where Malice was when this happened, so was he, because he was very lost.
Yo.
He walked around the long way both times.
How?
He walked all the way around the ring to the point where he was more than halfway across and then went back the other way.
Like the squirrel crossing the street. Not there yet. I should just turn back around.
It was the weirdest thing. Back in the ring, we get a boss man slam by Don Harris, and I think they knock heads.
Oh, literally, right before this happened, I'm like, I wonder if there's ever been a First Blood match where someone accidentally got busted open, and then that happened, and I was like, oh, wow.
Fucking stupid.
Don Harris bleeds a lot.
Yeah, right on the eyebrow,
a lot.
And
yeah,
it was bad.
And boom, First Blood match. The match is over. Post-match, Malice attacks again. Slash hits Don with a chair, and Malice chokeslams Don. Mitchell says the weak inherit nothing. Match length 6 minutes and 31 seconds. Post-match length 52 seconds. Full segment length 8 minutes and 42 seconds. My only thoughts is, come on, there's no way that was the planned ending.
Nope. Nothing that happened was planned.
Are you kidding me?
You thought that was planned?
Yo, fucking Don Harris hits the black hole slam, rolls over, and does the most obvious gig I've ever seen.
Really?
Yes!
No, it looked like they smashed heads to me.
It looked like they smashed heads, and he went, fuck.
Yeah.
And rolled over and started,
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll go back and re. It really looked to me like
yeah. Oh,
he hits it, and then gigs to me, it was just as obvious as Slash's gig. That's what I saw.
I saw a slap. Yeah, that was an obvious one.
But
maybe that was the spot, but I'm not 100% they were supposed to bleed there. Maybe it was supposed to be a double down.
I don't know.
And they went too close and just swamped, and it was like, ooh.
Here's the cool finish. The cool finish is he hits the black hole slam.
Yeah.
And boom, his head gets split open. He hits it and then rolls away and sells. There's blood on Malice.
Oh, his
and
own
the ref
blood.
calls it and is like, oh, wait a minute.
Gotcha.
This isn't his blood. Oh, it's hit. To me, that's the cool finish.
Okay.
But everything in TNA, I recently saw a video on Twitter where it's like, this is the only safe kind of gender reveal party we can do now. Where it's like just dudes in like a dude in a pink tutu and a dude in blue tutu, just like fake wrestling in front of their
Oh, I
friends.
saw that video.
Yeah, and they're like, those guys had a better understanding of wrestling business than the
Yep.
people putting these together.
I was like, that was kind of a solid match, psychological wise. Like,
Yeah. Cause like what I saw here, it's like James Mitchell taking the blood to the face, like that's a big blow. Like if your gimmick is putting blood on other people, you save that for
Yeah.
yeah.
and that was all of it. That was all the blood.
Yeah. But it
Oh,
just
no.
happens
He's got no more.
like mid-match, like casually,
Right.
like not into the finish, not the payoff after. It's just so.
Yeah.
Did you hear the old woman getting murdered in the front row?
No.
Oh my goodness. During a different match, I think it was the Bow Challenge, the Dup Challenge, or whatever it was called. An old woman
Right.
handed a cane,
cane.
and you saw like all three of them there. In that same spot, Malice took like a full blown like back cross body into the barricade, and it flew into them, and you heard like a horror movie. Ah! And it was just going, and they just fought off into the concession stand. They kept screaming. People were just like looking over, like, "Oh no!" And I think they murdered an old woman.
Well, that's what you get for coming to the wrestling show.
I had to send the picture to Jimmy Time. At one point during the match, Malice and Don Harris are fighting like back in the crowd somewhere, and it cuts to the ring camera,
Yeah.
and like you see everybody in the crowd like looking behind them, and there's just one yokel sitting at ringside, just yuck, like I got ringside seats and I'm not looking at anything but this here ring.
I don't
Like-
want to miss it.
Yeah.
Almost got a dunce hat on.
Yo.
Oh man, but that when they were fighting all around, it was like a landmine of lawsuits. They had nothing but like old people,
Ooh.
babies, people in wheelchairs, like
Yeah.
disabled people. I was just like, they better be careful.
I don't know why they go in the crowd ever.
One thing I've noticed about TNA is when they fight in the crowd, like you see other crowd members be like, "Ooh, careful, back up, back up." There's no security.
Yeah.
warning.
Well,
Oh,
Don
no.
Harris is in the match.
No. No, they're security, but they're standing very far away
They're like, I'm
from
not
all of
getting
them.
hurt.
Yeah.
At one point, I saw both of them going at it, Don Harris and whoever, Malice, and they hit each other with a chair. There's like two skinheads freaking out over the violence, and there's like security guard and a police officer just walking away like, I don't want to be near this.
Yep.
I don't want to be near this. He's got like a burger. He's like, oh,
Right, yeah.
nope.
Yeah.
It's like an open. He's got
looks
his
like he-
hands. He's. I don't know. He's got open hands. I don't know. Especially when he was running against the ropes. Usually you can see he's got it in his hand. I think he's.
I would bet money that that's a gig. Especially since, like, I've been punched in the face a lot.
Well, that's
And
him.
I've been
He
punched.
That's a
like,
skull.
he could
That's
have
a headbutt.
sliced it in the back and then healed it, and then it broke open at the wrong time.
Yeah, mate.
Oh,
yeah.
you know what? That could have. I would believe that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
He cut it in the back, and then the plan was for that, but they bumped heads at the wrong time, and he was like, "Oh,
But it barely even looks like
fuck,
they
that
hit
was the."
heads. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, if it's,
I'm
you just need to
really
touch the
convinced it's
eyebrow
a gig.
bone on bone.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's like, boom, we hit it. He rolls over and he's like, oh, fuck. And it's like that, all it takes is just a,
Yeah. Top 10 worst matches I've seen so far.
Oh, so bad.
All right, let's move on. Segment 9. Goldie is wearing a puppet shirt, and
Is she?
Yeah.
I missed that.
Yeah.
it was a picture of puppet, and then next to it said "midgets do it better" or something like that.
yeah.
I missed that. She's into guns.
Like, imagine being like, you know what? That gunman has some great merch.
So passionate.
Why are you calling him a gunman? Oh, right, because he pulled out a gun.
Yeah.
Let bygones be bygones. Let him back
Wow.
in. The past is the past. So Goldie is wearing a puppet shirt, and she is backstage waiting to get an interview with Taylor Vaughn outside of her locker room. When Sonny Siaki enters looking for Ricky Steamboat, she hasn't seen him, so Sonny Siaki has left the interview. Bruce, the new Miss TNA, grabs Goldie's mic and walks into the women's locker room just unopposed. Taylor once again calls Bruce a homo and maybe low blows him, but she definitely chokes him and pushes him into the shower and then turns the shower on. I didn't write it down, but she probably said something like cool off or something lame.
No, she's not that cool.
She's not that cool. She's not cool enough to be lame.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they tried to do a woman in white in the shower thing, but it didn't work.
Is that what
Bruce
they-
didn't even look like he got wet.
Yeah.
I was like, I
Yeah.
heard the shower turn on, but was it just not facing anyone?
I don't know what that was about. Yeah. So Taylor Vaughn, wants her crown back, and Bruce says, all right, evening gown match later tonight for the crown.
Oh boy.
And then AJ Styles and Low-Ki come tornadoing through the locker room.
I screamed. It scared the hell out of me.
They fight for a while and eventually Bullet Bob Armstrong and security pull them apart. Full segment length, 1 minute, 17 seconds. You guys have thoughts about this at all?
All right. First of all, Sonny Siaki, if you're trying to be The Rock, yo, learn to talk on the mic.
He's a heel, right?
He is. He's supposed to be a heel, and I guess I'm seeing it now. Like, oh, he is. Like, he cuts you off when you go to say something, but he doesn't have any lines. He doesn't have any. There's nothing cool about him.
Yeah.
He's just
Yeah, he's
You know.
trying. That's about it. He doesn't have anything though.
because he shows up and he goes, oh, Goldie, blah blah blah. And she's like, well, I haven't seen it. What? Well, Sonny Siaki, I haven't seen him. Sonny Siaki. It like makes him repeat. And then who started the fight? AJ or Low-Ki? I mean, obviously not Low-Ki, right?
Loki pushed him in there, right? Or was AJ pushing him in there?
Ooh, I don't remember.
I don't know why they're fighting. They have a match tonight. There's no animosity. That's
Because he cost
the
him the
nature of
match
the business.
last
You
week.
fight.
He cost him the match
Oh,
last
did he?
week. Yeah. Remember, he hit
Oh.
AJ. He kicked Lynn. And so he was like, well, this is my match. I was supposed to have
Oh,
you there.
right.
Loki hit an awesome kick where he jumped up and grabbed like the rafters.
Yeah.
Kicked him. That was awesome. And then I don't know if anyone heard it, but AJ dropped his first F bomb.
Oh, did he?
Oh, I missed it.
What did he?
Yeah.
What, for real?
Yeah.
What did he say?
He said it.
Oh my god.
Do you
I totally missed that. All right, pause this podcast right now.
Yeah.
He's got to push him into the fucking garbage can, and then they get pulled apart. Pick him up. Oh, that's why. It cuts off for you guys. That's why.
Clever editing.
Oh no! And they pull him
Holy
off.
crap.
He goes all the way across, and he yells it, drops it, calls him.
Hang on now, because
Freaking
I
F.
gotta.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah, it's there. I caught that. Freaking fat. You heard him. He loves that word.
Ooh.
He loves saying that. Yeah.
That's
They-
rough.
So they cut that
Yep.
out.
That's
I
rough.
had a feeling
Yeah,
they
they
would.
cut that out.
That's rough. Okay, that's rough.
Sorry for people who are huge AJ Style fans.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
early in his career and probably earlier in his life, he loved dropping that F word.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to AJ Styles fans who have to hear that twice now.
Yeah.
'Cause I knew it happened later, but
Yeah.
Oh man.
now I gotta look out for it. Oh, yo, yeah. My only other thought is like completely undercut by that, but. In the locker room, we saw. First off, we saw definitely. I mean, maybe I'm racist, but definitely the TNA dancer that R-Truth was making fun of last week. The only black TNA dancer we ever seen. She was
Yeah.
definitely backstage there, and I was
Oh.
like, "Why is that the one dancer who's in the women's locker room?"
They switch him out. I saw her there at one point.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
All right. But I was like, "Where's the other? Where's the other women? Where are the other dancers?"
Oh.
And then also I saw Shannon, aka Daphne, which I was like, "Why wouldn't you use her?
Well, that's such a waste.
Yeah.
She's gorgeous." How do you want TNA for real? Come on, you have these women that I am reluctantly attracted to, shoving down my throat every week, and I'm like, "Yeah, look at them titties, isn't that great?" And then you guys Shannon, who I am genuinely attracted to, and you're like, "No, nobody wants that." Give me more, truck stop leftovers and Midwestern moms. Give me more of that. We can't afford actually hot women. That's too much. They respect themselves. All right, segment 10. Apollo versus Jeff Jarrett with Ricky Steamboat as the special guest referee. TNA steals my gimmick and lists all the people that Jarrett has taken out since the start of the show. What do I do now? So Jarrett shows he's going to be a super by-the-books old-school official and stops Jarrett from punching Apollo in the corner by grabbing Jarrett's arm and pulling him all the way across the ring to be like, none of that, no closed fist. No.
Open hand.
And it keeps going because Apollo goes to jump off the top rope onto Jarrett to the outside of the ring, but Ricky Steamboat gets to a 5 count before he can even get up there, so Apollo has to jump down. He's like, what the heck? And you hear Steamboat go, I want to keep it in the ring.
Yeah. Impartial. I love it.
Yeah, I'm digging it so
Yeah,
far.
that's all right. Don mentions, I hate this, Don mentions that if Apollo had been this hungry since the start, he'd already have a title match. I'm like, Don, this is what this whole fucking thing's about. He did and it got taken away from him.
And he's undefeated.
Yeah, Steamboat screwed him over twice. What do
Yeah.
you mean? Outside the ring, Jarrett throws Apollo into the steps a few times and Apollo is bleeding. Steamboat grabs a chair, Jarrett grabs a chair, but Steamboat stops him and then throws Apollo into the ring. I'm like, why do you... Steamboat loves to throw and wrestle in
Yeah.
the ring. He loves that.
I was shocked. That was such a big push. I was like, what the hell? He rolled right in.
Yeah. I popped for this. We get the Owen Hart style Enziguri,
Yes.
and it gets a 2 count too, and I was like, ooh, it's a big respect there. Jarrett tackles Apollo out of a leapfrog and then puts the figure 4 on him, and the entire crowd is chanting, make him tap! Make
Yo,
him
no.
The
tap!
crowd loves Jarrett.
They love him. They love the truth.
Yeah.
And, like, all their heels are over. None of their faces are.
Whoops.
But Apollo reverses it, and then Jarrett gets the ropes. A rebound DDT leads to the double down, and then we go almost pretty quickly into the finish where Apollo hits a bridging German suplex, and he gets a 2 count, like clearly a 2 count, and then Steamboat counts the 3 anyway, and the crowd's like, what? Ah! And then it turns out Apollo was the one who was pinned, and Jarrett's the winner, and the crowd's like, yeah! I was like, I don't understand their reaction, what happened, why it happened, or how they want me to react to it.
I thought it was a screw job at first.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought, oh, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat's now heel. Like, everyone's heel. Great. But then, then he raised his hand. I was like, how?
It still kind of comes off that way to me.
Well, no, because he was fair and impartial the whole time. I liked that.
Yeah.
It was very obvious he wasn't
Yeah.
taking anyone's side. And then at the end, he's doing the 2 count and then sees Jarrett's shoulders up. You can see him clearly look at his shoulder and
Yeah.
then clearly look at Apollo's shoulder and continue the count.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I will save it for the thoughts. Let me just finish this. On the mic, this post-match, on the mic, Steamboat tells Apollo to go to the back, and we'll talk to him later, and then security with tonfas escort him there, which are police batons and
Yeah.
tonfas. Steamboat says, I never said you'd get the truth in a heavyweight title match. He's going to be your tag partner in a tag team title match against, this is a quote, against TJ and Jerry next week.
Oh, I thought it was JT. Was it TJ?
Oh, no, it's, against JT
JT.
and Jerry. That's what
I
it
was like, who's JT? Who the fuck?
I Steamboat the Steamboat. And the crowd chants bullshit. Match length 10 minutes 15 seconds. Post match length 3 minutes. Full segment 17 seconds. Yeah, I really thought that Ricky the Dragon Steamboat comes off as the heel here. It looks like he screwed Apollo, in my opinion. Because as a referee, if he's looking at Jarrett's shoulders, he's pinning Jarrett. And because it's a bridging German, you really can't see both of Apollo's shoulders as you're seeing both of Jarrett's shoulders.
I think the implication was that he was looking at both.
Yeah, but you, as a ref, you really can't
Yeah.
do that. But to me, Steamboat comes off like a liar, like a con man.
Well, here's the thing.
And
Who is the heel and who's the face in this match? Because I'll tell you, they both work like heels. Both Apollo and Jarrett work like heels. Apollo's hitting dirty like stun gun cutoffs and stuff like that. They both work like heels. The crowd loves Jarrett.
Right.
isn't really behind Apollo.
No.
I'm starting to realize, like, I always wondered, like, what is really the difference? Like, the Southern, like, wrestling style, there's
Right.
this, and, WWE style is, like, the real big characters, heel faces.
Sure.
Southern style, I'm pretty sure it's just, like, it's the closest thing we have to gladiators. Like, they don't care who's winning. It doesn't matter heel or
Okay.
face. They just like seeing, like, we just want people to get hurt,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
let's
Whoever
see.
hurts them the most or the best way is the most interesting
Yeah.
character to us.
Yeah.
And
That-
Jeff Jarrett's hitting old men and dwarves and other old men and non-wrestlers.
He comes out, he's mad, he's swinging chairs and, like, knocking people unconscious. This guy is awesome.
Just like me.
I will say there was some stuff in this match that I really liked. The one spot that, like, I saw it and I was like, that fucking blew my mind, and it was so simple. It's just this Apollo goes for a leapfrog.
Yeah.
And Jarrett shoulder tackles him.
The leg.
Oh,
yeah.
right in the leg.
Shoulder
Tips
tackles
him.
the leg.
Yeah.
And that was the setup for the figure 4. Yo.
Yeah.
I cannot believe I don't see that ever.
I
Ever.
think I've seen that like once or twice. It's not very often, but that's a good spot
Yeah.
though. Yeah.
So incredible. I saw it and I was like, ooh, I want to have another match. Like,
I thought this was like finally a great match because it finally had a story. Nothing
Yeah.
else really had a story in it.
That's true.
This was like the whole story was very clear from the start. Apollo's the better wrestler. Anytime Jarrett got over or got the advantage is because he had to use some underhanded tactics. He went for the punch, the ref held it back, then Jarrett jumped on him because he was distracted with the ref, or he went outside and had to use the stairs and make him bleed, or all these things. And that was the only time he got over to prove he was better. But then Apollo came back, and I liked what they were telling the whole time, especially with Jeff Jarrett being, especially with Steamboat being the ref and trying to, like, is he impartial or is he gonna? And he was proving that he wasn't. I liked all of it.
The idea of it, I liked. I liked the idea, even the finish. Like, yeah, that finish could work if it was done competently.
Yeah.
But because again, you guys were even saying, like, well, counting both at once. The way Apollo pinned him with the bridging, like, he wasn't bridging. He was flat on his back, and I could say, like, all right, Steamboat's an experienced wrestler. He understands what's happening, and it's fair. 1, 2, totally impartial. Jarrett wins it.
Yeah.
But for some reason, Steamboat's just gonna be a dick and screw him out of it. Like, that's the weird part. Because, like, oh, so now Steamboat's the heel because Jarrett's the big face that's over. Like, it's all backwards.
Yeah.
Everything is inverted. I don't understand it.
Yo, none of it matters. None of it matters because this is the last time we see Apollo wrestle.
Really? That's
Yeah.
it? They canned him after this?
Yeah.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah, none of it even matters.
Jarrett got his hands on him, and then he was done. He's like, I'm gonna get first-hand experience. He didn't like it.
All right, segment 11. Taylor Vaughn versus Bruce in an evening gown match
Oh, right.
Who?
for the Miss TNA crown. It won't matter in a second. Bruce enters wearing makeup and a blonde wig, so suddenly this is a transgendered issue.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to feel about any of
And
this.
and then
I mean,
TNA confirms it by saying the man who, well, wait a minute, the individual who was brought to tears last week, and then we get the awful return of hashtag not my commentator, who triples down on it by saying, that's the ugliest thing I've
Yeah.
ever seen.
That was the one I was going to bring up.
Awful. And then he continues by pointing out that we technically have to cheer for Bruce in this match because if Bruce wins, then we get to see, what he says is Taylor Vaughn's skivvies,
Oh,
which is her in her underwear.
Yeah.
it's the whole name of the show. TNA.
No, it's TVS. Taylor Vaughn's skivvies.
Who?
Oh, never mind. So Bruce and just absolutely manhandles Taylor Vaughn. Just tosses her around. He gives her what we call the old lady surprise, that wheelbarrow dominator.
Oh my God! Again, I screamed. Fucking
in my
annihilated her.
And then he gingerly takes her dress off.
Well, you don't want to touch her. That's gross.
So still Miss TNA, Bruce. Post-match, Bruce frantically motions for his crown until the ref retrieves it. And then on mic, Bruce says, "You're upset because I've won, but I'll send you home happy." And then Bruce takes off their dress, and it's blurred from the waist down, or at least at the waist.
Oh, good for you guys.
Yeah.
I had to see that. It's one of the few times I actually have
Was
to,
it
like,
his
turn-
bare ass?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was
Okay.
a full thong.
Yeah.
So, like,
It didn't look that bad.
it was...
I don't think it looked that bad. Don here, he goes, that's not TNA, that's TNO,
That's funny.
which is weird because it's actually no and A in this case.
Yeah.
And then I also want to point out that there is a woman in the crowd who is super happy.
Bruce.
Yeah.
So
She's
happy that Bruce...
so into
Yo,
it.
except until right the exact second when he takes his dress off and she sees what he's wearing underneath, and then her face goes into pure
That's not right.
for about 4 seconds, and then she goes back to going, yeah! It's the craziest thing. Match length 2 minutes and 8 seconds. Post match length 1 minute and 40 seconds. Full segment length 5 minutes and 32 seconds. Get ready to clap it up because this is the last time we see Taylor Vaughn.
Who?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
The match was horrible.
Oh
I
my
hated the beginning. Hated the beginning.
With
Atomic
the
drop and
meta-
fucking
the
Manhattan
botched- Yeah.
drop. Ugh.
Yeah.
rid of it.
Usually I come off with a lot of leeway by saying, hey, if this is the best you can do, this is the best you can do. But no, I don't.
No.
If this is the best you can do, go home.
It was
Yeah.
not believable. I hated all of it.
Yeah. I still think about how awful her first segment was when Francine hit her with that belt and she just collapsed and died. Like she turned to a corpse. Like I think
What a
you're I don't know somebody. I'm presuming you made the quote. It was like Andy came into the room and the toys collapsed.
Yep, Andy's coming.
Andy's coming. Quick, go limp. So next, it's segment 12. It's time for Don West's super pitch.
All right.
AJ and Jerry Lynn versus Jeff Jarrett and the Truth for the tag titles next week. Check out the website for $20 hats and t-shirts. Next week, be there.
He was
Well-
trying to follow it up from last time, and it just wasn't as good.
Yeah, full segment length, 1 minute and 35. My only thoughts are there's not a lot going on next show, huh?
Mm.
Yeah. All right. If Don West did his super pitch, that means it's time for the main event. Which means it's time for the best hour.
Our favorite hour?
The Troy McClure Hour. Oh, hello there. I'm Troy McClure. You may remember me from such conflict management instructional pamphlets as Someone's to blame, but it sure ain't me. The company line or the unemployment line, get in one of them. Or leave your complaint on my desk. I'm going on vacation. Today, we're here to talk about mediating workplace friction. All right, let's go ahead and just give you a real quick summary here. We've heard it before, so just... Jerry Lynn began wrestling in 1988 with various independent promotions, winning both light and heavyweight titles in his first year. After a WWF tryout, Lynn joined Vern Gagne's AWA in 1989 and was allegedly the last challenger for Larry Zbyszko's AWA World title before Zbyszko left for WCW in 1990. Also in 1990, Jerry Lynn toured internationally with Universal Lucha Libre. And finally, in 1991, Jerry Lynn joined Jerry Jarrett's USWA, where he lost the first round of the USWA Southern Heavyweight Title Tournament. In his first 4 years, Jerry Lynn fought at the time current and future stars like Larry Zbyszko, the Twin Towers, Akeem and Bossman,
Oh.
Rick Martel, the Lightning Kid, who was X-Pac, Brian Christopher, Dirty White Boy, who was popular back then and then later became LT Hopper, the Fabulous Ones, Stan Lane and Steve Kern, the Pitbulls, 1 and 2, Doug Gilbert, Bill Irwin, who was both Black Scorpion and the Goon, Johnny Ace, who was known as John Laurinaitis, Scott Anthony, who later became Raven, and Barry Horowitz. All in his first year, those are the names he worked with.
Wow.
I think that's a pretty good year, first 4 years. Most people don't get stuff like that, I think, in their first 10 years.
Yeah.
Next is AJ Styles, who debuted in 1998 in the Georgia-based NCW National Championship Wrestling. According to the website I use, in his first 3 years of wrestling, AJ only had 6 recorded matches, one of which was against K Crush, aka Around the Truth Killings, and another against a guy named Mark IV Michaels, with 4 being spelled Phor. So it's not totally clear what his character is.
Yeah.
He later went by the name Azrael, who once again is not the New York-based Azrael that you and I know and have seen on AEW. It is a different Georgia-based one that was in one of the dark matches that we already had. So AJ's already given back what he can. Unfortunately, AJ's career is still a little too new to have any real good highlights. And then finally, Low Key, who began his career in 1998, blah, 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 No Diggity by Blackstreet, blah, 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 for Jeff Shapiro's Jersey All Pro Wrestling. In his first 2 years of wrestling, Low Key has 15 recorded matches, including an FWA heavyweight title win, as well as winning JAPW's second ever Best of the Light Heavyweight tournament. Low Key wrestled with current and future names like Homicide and Mike Quackenbush in those first 2 years. As per the podcast, My World with Jeff Jarrett, hosted by Conrad Thompson, Low Key is currently, in 2002, the head of talent relations for TNA.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
That's why you're seeing guys like Amazing Red and SATs, because he's booking them from where he knows.
Oh,
That's a
shit.
big reason as to why you see all the guys that we know
Yeah.
who are super talented. It's because one of our own got his foot in the door and paid it back real quick.
Well, that's how it always works.
Yeah.
That's the only way it ever works.
It really is. I
It's
know.
all about who you know.
No, like 100%. Why do you think you keep seeing so many creative pro wrestlers on AEW? It's ridiculous. All right, the main event, segment 13, Jerry Lynn versus AJ Styles versus Low Key for the X Division title. This is a good X Division match, and there's a lot of highlights here. The match starts with Low Key and Lynn attacking AJ so they can focus on each other, but AJ finds his way back in. Lynn and AJ in a standing waist lock, and they both bend over to flapjack Low Key into the air. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Commentary puts over how Lynn and Styles still have to work as a tag team next week to defend their titles. That's going to be rough. AJ is in control after hitting a spinning heel kick to Low Key and a low blow to Jerry Lynn. Commentary points out that nobody knows what to make of AJ Styles' actions as Jerry Lynn reverses a Hurricane Run into a powerbomb. So you have commentary pointing out very valid things of the storyline, but also the wrestling it's so good.
Yeah.
It's
So
so good.
I love they're doing all these like 3-man spots instead of like, oh, let me shit can you, and it's 1-on-1, and then he comes in and shit cans the other, and then it's
Exactly.
1-on-1.
Yes. I hate this, but we get a triple pin. I hate who wins. If nobody kicks out, who wins?
Yeah.
Yeah, same with like triple sleepers and all that.
I
I'm
hate
like,
it.
what is happening here?
It's all stupid. Unless there's 2 refs and you're doing the finish where each
Right.
ref is calling a different. That's the only time.
It's true.
So AJ goes for a superplex on Low Key, but Lynn German suplexes AJ with Low Key following. You get that big ROH waterfall spot up the top. Low Key applies the Way of the Dragon in various positions as Lynn keeps just throwing himself at Low Key to break up pin attempts. It like happens over and over and over again for like a good 2 minutes. Low Key hits the Styles Clash on AJ, and then Lynn hits the Key Crusher on Low Key, and then AJ hits the Pile Driver on Jerry Lynn, and they all get a 2 count each.
This I hated.
Yeah.
This was the part where I was like, all right, we fucking get it, guys.
And then Low Key accidentally squishes the ref in the corner and is sent to the outside. I think with the ref, both of them go outside. And then we get this car crash crossbody that sends AJ to the outside to pick up a chair as all men, including the ref, are down.
Yeah.
AJ hits Jerry Lynn with a chair and then dances.
What was that about?
He's cool, he's cocky, he's bad.
It's like a JDK, like, I don't know what that was.
Nobody knows
Yeah.
what it is. Then he signals for the spiral tap, but Low Key crawls back in the ring and covers Jerry Lynn, and AJ hits the spiral tap right at 2, but Low Key sells up and falls right back on top of Lynn, and the ref counts the 3 count, I presume because he's still disoriented and isn't fully paying attention. Your winner and new X Division champion, Low Key. Post-match, AJ and Jerry Lynn keep fighting, and then we cut to the back, and Jeff Jarrett is arguing with the Truth about how they want to fight right now. Let's go. They make their way out to ringside with security in between them going, let's do it right now, as the show goes off the air. Match length 16 minutes and 17 seconds. Post-match segment 2 minutes and 11 seconds. Full segment length 19 minutes and 9 seconds. Your thoughts?
Jeff Jarrett is never booked for a match and ends every pay-per-view on screen.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Like, he literally was like, I have to run out to the ring right now so I can be there when the pay-per-view ends.
Think about how cool it'll be when you have like a montage of just me posing as the pay-per-view goes off air 100 times. That's what I'm thinking about.
Quick, think of it. Me in the ring. Wow, 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 wow. Obviously the finish is fucking, like...
Yeah.
They say it on commentary. They're like, "Oh, I can't believe after he hit that move, Loki had the wherewithal to complete the
finish
pin
the
again."
pin.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not how that
yeah, it
works.
doesn't
You
work.
can't repin someone and get the same count.
Yeah, I hated it because Tanea was like, everybody in the building has tremendous respect for Low-Key after that win. And I was like, yo, maybe in the building, but not at home, dude.
Yeah.
Because
I
I
know.
saw that.
Which is wild. Like, Loki is the face in this match. The crowd loves him.
Yeah, and they heal him up at the end with this look. Like,
And you, yeah. I just, everything is so baffling. Because it's like, they understand that, like, all the stuff of wrestling is here.
yeah,
It's all here.
yeah.
You guys picked it up and dropped it there. Just nobody put it in the right order
Yeah.
or like figured out whose role is what. Everyone just picked a roll out of a hat,
Yeah.
and that's what they're doing tonight.
Did anyone else feel like the crowd was a little too into chanting TNA? Like it was forced?
Oh, I 100%. I'm not sure if it's on this episode, but I definitely noticed that Jeremy Borash is leading the chants.
100% I noticed that.
really?
You can notice it
100%.
because when there's one point, I forget which match, maybe it's this last match, but there's a point
Yes.
where the crowd is going TNA, TNA. But if you look at them, half the crowd is looking off to their right, way past the ring, like near the commentary booth
Oh.
where JB usually sits. Yeah.
Two
Wow.
things. One, I've been to a TNA event, and JB says we are always looking for the rowdiest crowd and the rowdiest people in the crowd. And if I see you, we'll let you go backstage and meet some of your favorite wrestlers.
Oh.
So he incentivizes them and then
Act
leads them.
crazy, yeah.
Yeah. And during this match, when they do the big, Jerry Lynn does the power bomb, big spot off the top,
Yeah.
Mm.
they're all doing the TNA and looking over, and the camera pans over past the commentators, and right when JB's on camera and like they tell him or whatever, you see him, he's standing up doing a thing, and he slowly like goes down and starts rubbing his head like, no, I wasn't doing anything, no. I
Yeah.
was like, no, you got caught. I saw you.
All right, so bell to bell to bell to bell to bell to bell to bell. An hour and 2 minutes and 5 seconds of wrestling.
No.
Yeah, that's what I have on this hour and 57-minute and 4-second show. It was a really long show. this time.
Well, first of all, you can't include the duck match because that wasn't wrestling.
No, I did, unfortunately.
Ooh.
No, you can't.
that
was not
wrestling.
That's
But I
just a big
did.
long segment.
But also, it was only like, I think like 5 minutes, so it's not like it's a big deal.
What? That was like a 17-minute segment.
The
though.
segment was, but the match, the wrestling part was only
Jesus.
5 minutes. Yeah, they spent a lot of time explaining the rules and then Disco Inferno confirming the rules and then
Yeah.
reconfirming
Don't
the rules.
remind me. Every line.
Yeah,
he
it
repeated.
was.
Like they were Chewbacca, and I couldn't understand them.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, so it's that's the rule, and it's worth that many points. All right, what about the next one? And then he repeated again right after them.
This was a triple main event, right?
That's what they said.
How do main events work?
Yo, apparently one of them
Wait.
goes on in the second slot.
Because
like,
this
There
was
was three.
that's what they said at the beginning. Yeah.
It was booked from the beginning. They said triple main event. One of those main events was the second match.
It was the X Division title match.
Truth and Shamrock. We had
Oh,
and then Apollo and Jeff
Apollo
Jarrett. was the other
Jarrett.
one.
but that was impromptu.
No, it was planned.
No, that was
No, that-
impromptu because he said, "Fine, I'll give you the truth,
But
but you
they-
gotta
wait,
have
wait a
a
minute.
match with Apollo."
What
to
was
do
No,
it."
but the match was already planned, and they said,
it was?
If you win the match, this is the stipulation."
Oh.
Yeah, that's the problem with
Oh.
the show is a lot of times commentary explains something, and then people come out to do their segment, and they act like we didn't just learn what they told us. Like there was the last segment, or however many segments ago, where like Jared was suspended, but then he came
Yeah.
out and they were like, "You're not supposed to be here." And it's like, you already told us you lifted his suspension for the night. He is allowed to be
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, he's not supposed to be in the ring right now, but you're not.
Yeah.
Like, it's really not clear enough. It's just vague enough where you're like, I'm not 100% what's going on here.
Yeah. And they don't show replays. I hate that.
Yeah.
Mm.
That
Like, New Japan doesn't show anything during the match, but then they'll show it all after.
after,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that. Do one of them, at least.
Yeah.
We don't have that production budget yet.
They barely have graphics.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. The only thing I took away from the show was that Steamboat is a heel.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I took away from the show. Steamboat's the heel.
He's
Was
helping out his people.
That's the way.
I guess.
That's the. Like, who's the group now? I was gonna say R-Truth and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Apollo, but I know Apollo's gone, like in the backstage.
So,
So
do
like,
we have any
who was-
faces left?
who's the group?
The
like,
faction is
well, Jeff Jarrett
Steamboat,
is getting
Jeff
cheered,
Jarrett,
Yeah. who hate each other,
Ron the Truth Killing,
who also hate each other.
Boom. We got Monty Brown's a face.
and Elix Skipper. That's the
Wow.
faction.
That's a good faction.
Is it? It's a faction. I don't know if it's a good one.
They
race
have
car
no
faction.
shared goals or
No, it's
ambitions.
still-
Nothing in common, but there are faction.
Heels save heels because heels.
But also, we don't really know what heels are or how heels act.
Ugh. All right, so I mean, look, why would you make this? It's clear to me that this episode was supposed to establish Ricky Steamboat as the authority figure in the company. He was going to be the one that makes the tough decisions and fosters the compromise between heated employees and you know, like brings everybody together and like he's like the dad of the big strong leader, and but he's incompetent as hell. He's awful. People come up to him and he's like, "I need to talk to you right now." And they're like, "I can't talk to you. I've got to go out there and watch a match." You're like, "Why?" He's like, it's what I do." You're like, "Oh, okay, I'm pretty sure you made the match worse by being out there."
Yeah.
But you got to do that, I guess. Yeah, like honestly, if the point of this show was for them to present an authority figure so incompetent that it made it seem like the company was falling apart, they succeeded.
I think this is the reset episode. That's how it feels to me. This is, we're now changing directions as a company because we are the shits right now.
Yeah.
Put the belt on Loki, put the belt on Truth, figure out a new direction, and we'll come up with new storylines in the morning. That's what this whole show felt like to me. Like, we're a mess. We're gonna fix it on this show, and
Start
then
over.
next week it'll be all better.
Never forget about the whole Bill Barons and forget about Ken
Yep.
Shamrock and all that stuff. No,
We're
we've
gonna
got
start-
Steamboat
yeah.
and Truth, and that's who we've always been.
Yep. Ignore those previous 8 episodes.
Yeah. All right. Yo, I don't think you can, but guess that card.
Oh,
Because
boy.
we know there's going to be a
Uh,
Jeff Jarrett and the Truth versus AJ Styles and Jerry Lynn for the tag titles, which means either the Truth and Jeff Jarrett, people who hate each other, are going to be new tag team champions, or AJ Styles and Jerry Lynn, two guys who clearly hate each other, are going to be
remain
still
the tag team champions.
Yeah, which is,
I think they'll remain the tag team champions.
I hope so, because the
Yeah.
other one makes less sense.
We should have like a Monty Brown Elix Skipper
In-
thing.
In fact, I hope that doubly, because otherwise it'll mean once again the tag team titles are being held by someone who is another champion on top of the tag team.
Yeah.
Which means he has to be double booked every time.
Yeah.
So please don't do that. Please just keep the titles on AJ, and then have the Truth have that title, and then Loki has the X title, and finally you have 3 champions instead of 1 champion and then a belt you let another guy hold while you figure out what to do with it.
Yeah, that's 3 main events you have now.
Oh wait, you already had that. Yeah, based on what they showed me, I was gonna guess Apollo versus Steamboat, but then like, oh right, that's
Yeah,
no, you're
nope.
not gonna see that.
Monty Brown and Elix Skipper, like you
Monty
said.
Brown and Elix Skipper. Maybe another Dups Invitational.
I guess.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, defend the hardcore title, and then give something for Siaki to do.
What's Low Key gonna do? He's the champ now. Night off.
Yeah.
Fight Siaki.
we'll have an X Division match.
Defense against
You,
Siaki.
you got. I say. I feel like I'm saying this every week, but you gotta have AMW come back and do something with their storyline.
Yeah, where'd they go?
I feel like I say it every week. How are these
why,
guys?
Why do you want to get a tag team involved in the tag division? I don't understand it. Why don't we just pair up two random guys and they'll be the guys fighting the tag division? That makes more sense to me.
Well, TNA's still around. I'm not. So yeah, it like that's another thing too. It's like you got the main event is going to be a tag match, and we're at the point where historically, like in the roster, you got to have AMW back. So again, you're just overloading tag matches on a card.
Yeah.
All right, I don't know. Hopefully, it'll be an overloaded tag team match, and then Monty Brown will fight Elix Skipper, and I guess the Truth won't get involved in that, even though he's supposed to. Or like, is the Truth going to be involved in 2 segments now?
Goodness.
This like they have like a
have
good
anyone.
5 dudes they
Yeah.
are running this whole company
Yeah.
with. So yeah, that's that. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoy us for the next one. All right. Also, yeah, you go. Come on, give us likes, give us stars, whatever it is that they make you do to make us believe that we're worth something.
Do something.
Just like open your window and just go and then close the window. That's good enough.
We do all this. You do something too.
Not for us, just in general.
Yeah.
Just like, wash your shoes or something. Just do a thing. So the intro music is, of course, Falling Off Your Love by Kill Paris. And for Brother Skylar and J Delta, I am Jimmy Time. And please remember, without the mistakes of others, we'd be forced to endure the pain of failure ourselves. Support the arts. The preceding recording is for entertainment purposes only, and the views expressed in this podcast do not necessarily represent the views of Why Would You Make This, its owners, employees, or associates.